All right.
It's going good.
Good. All right, let's get into it, and then we'll get into some Q&A. I'll do this pretty quick. So the first way to build a great real estate business, number one, is you must become the expert. This is something I always talk about on my channel all the time, but it is absolutely crucial to you becoming a great real estate investor and attracting money, which is something you're eventually going to need. The biggest thing or biggest mistake I made when I started was thinking I could do it all on my own. I didn't need any money. I didn't need money partners. I could just save the money myself, buy properties as I saved it up, which is a terrible financial strategy. You really need to learn how to attract money, and then your business is going to start growing very well. So the first way we become an expert, number one, is you want to specialize in one specific niche. So when you're starting out, this is even more important. So whether it's single family, multifamily, student properties, whatever, you just want to focus on one thing for now while you're building your real estate business. Once you become more seasoned, you can start dabbling in other things, but you really want to establish yourself as the expert in whatever. So when I started out, I did single family properties. I was the single family expert. That's all I did. Whenever I had partners wanting to buy multifamily or students or even clients at that time when I was a realtor, they said, hey Matt, can we go look at student properties? When I first started out, I said, you know what? I'm not an expert in that. I can't help you. I really established myself as the expert in single family for me. So what this did is that if anybody has any questions or anything that they want to know about single family, I was the person to come to. There was nobody else to go to. It didn't make any sense. I wrote books on this. I made videos on this. I wrote blogs on this, which I'll get into soon, to really establish myself as the expert. So that really built up my name and built up trust with my viewers, my subscribers, my clients, my partners, etc. And that's really what got things started. When I first started, I was kind of dabbling in everything, as most people do. It wasn't until I started doing this that things really started changing. Now, once you pick a niche, and before I go into that, how you pick a niche to go into really depends on the lifestyle that you want. A lot of people overlook this, especially when they're starting on real estate. They think, I'll just buy anything that cash flows, anything that has a good return on investment, and that is the wrong way to go about it when you're playing the long game of real estate investing and life, right? That's a short-term strategy, is to buy whatever cash flows well. You want to buy something that's going to fund your lifestyle. So for me, as you guys probably already know, I say it all the time, right? My ideal lifestyle is living in the tropics, living in Hawaii, Costa Rica, relaxing on the beach, doing my own thing, coaching people when it comes to life coaching, right? That's my dream. So do I want a type of real estate that's going to take a lot of my time, give me a lot of stress, such as multifamily, student properties, maybe rent-to-owns can be stressful at some point. So for me, for my goals and my dreams, single family made perfect sense. Now, if you're planning on staying in the area that you're investing in, or you don't mind dealing with more headaches in exchange for more cash flow, right? Multifamily might be you. It really depends what business style you want to go into. Or flipping, let's say you want to do flipping. It's a very active business, right? You must be in the area you're flipping in. Mostly, right? Most people have to be in the area. So take that into note. That's how we choose the type of niche that we want to get into. After we choose what niche we want to go into, right? We want to specialize in one area, right? So let's say with a single family person in Hamilton, Ontario, let's say. So that's what we do. We only look at Hamilton. We don't look at anything else. It's only one specific area. When your buddy or your realtors come to you with deals that are outside of your area, you're supposed to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm only focusing on this area. I am the expert. I know how things work in this area. I know what properties sell for. I know what they rent for. I know how much they're going to cost to renovate, etc. This is really going to help you automate your business and really become the expert. So for example, for me in Kitchener-Waterloo, where I specialize in single family, I know exactly almost how much these properties are going to rent for immediately. As soon as someone says it's a semi-detached in Forest Heights, I know right away, $1,750, it's probably going to cost between $30,000 and $40,000 to renovate it if it's totally outdated. So I already know the numbers off the top of my head. So I don't have to go wasting time driving by to see the property, calculate the numbers, contact my realtors, which I'm a realtor, but if you have a realtor, you have to contact them. I already know all of these things before even going because I specialize. I know exactly what I'm doing in the type of property. So it automates my business and it really establishes me as the expert. The next thing you want to do to really build your real estate business is give away free content. So the best way to do this, number one, is blogs. So everybody can do this when they're starting off, and you really want to write about the niche you're doing. So let's say you're doing multifamily properties in Boston, right? You're going to write a bunch of blogs about why it's fantastic to buy multifamily in Boston. You know, you'll write blogs such as top 5 ways to make money in Boston multifamily, top 3 reasons why you should buy duplexes in Boston, etc. You're going to write blog after blog after blog, really establishing yourself as the expert. It's not only going to push up your SEO rankings, right? Your rankings on Google, which is a whole nother topic. I'll get into that maybe in another video. But you really want to start ranking yourself so people start finding you about the niche you're specializing in. So the more content you're putting out, the more people are going to find you. So after you write a bunch of blogs, what you want to do is write a book. When I wrote my first book, it literally changed my life. I'm not even kidding. Writing a book instantly puts you at an authority status, and people think you must know what you're talking about. You have a book, but you actually want to know exactly what you're talking about. But just it has that social proof in people's minds that like, wow, you wrote a book, you must know exactly what you're talking about. And everybody asks me, Matt, how are you writing books? How are you doing so many videos? How are you writing blogs, right? You must be so busy. The secret is repurposing your content. So you're not making new stuff, you know, for every single piece of content you're putting on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. It's all the same stuff. And that's the secret that a lot of business owners don't know. They think you have to make all this new content, and that's not the case. So what we do is we write a blog, right? In that blog alone, you know, it's 1,200 words. You probably have a good 3 to 4 videos in that blog that you can talk more about. There's probably about 30 to 40 Facebook posts, Instagram posts in that blog as well that you already wrote. So we're repurposing it. So what you want to do is write a number of blogs, at least maybe 10 to 20 when you're really starting out to establish yourself as the expert. And all you're going to do is take all of those blogs and just throw them into a book. This is exactly what I did when I wrote my first book, Single Family Investing Made Simple. I wrote a bunch of blogs. I literally grabbed them, put them in a book. I changed it up a little bit into a book format, but it didn't take that long. I wrote the book in probably 6 to 10 hours tops because I already did all of the work here. Now people thought like, holy shit, this guy has a book. He must know exactly what he's talking about. I'm going to give him my money and I'm going to buy real estate with him. The third thing you want to do after that is start making videos on YouTube about the content you already wrote. Like I said, you have a bunch of tips in your blogs. Make a bunch of videos on that blog. You have a book now. You can write a bunch or shoot a bunch of videos on that book. And again, people think like, how are you making all this content? You have so much stuff out there. You must be the expert. And what it's doing is it's ranking yourself on Google through the blogs, through the videos, right? Because Google pretty much owns everything. So you really want to take advantage of that and start ranking your name up. Then people are going to find you.
You want to wait and take questions at the end or now?
Yeah, I'll do questions at the end, guys. So if you, or unless you have some questions geared to what I'm talking about right now, feel free to ask. If you have any random questions about real estate investing in general, we're going to get into that in about 5 minutes. I just want more people to jump on, give you some more free content. If anybody has any questions right now about what I'm talking about, let me know, or I'll keep going.
Watson says, what up?
What's up, man? Great question. No. Well, I got here though. Okay, I got the last one. So the last thing you want to do to really establish yourself as the expert is post on social media as much as possible, because what this does, sorry, my writing is absolutely terrible, but it provides social proof. So this is the thing that a lot of business owners and marketers have no idea. Even though they're in business, it blows me away, but especially real estate investors. When you understand the psychology of people and what makes them make decisions, you're gonna start closing more deals and getting more partners. So social proof is the #1 thing that makes us want to work with someone that we haven't met before. So when we see success videos on YouTube, testimonials, right? This is why you see all the big marketers doing this kind of stuff, is because it plays tricks with the minds of our viewers. It really makes them want to trust us even more. So social proof, I can't say it enough, is so important. It's the entire reason why I post all my before and after renovations on my flips and my projects I do with partners, because that's social proof. I'm showing that this is a real person's property that invested with me. You saw it before, now you're seeing it now. It's all nice and fancy. It's rented out, we have tenants, we're making money, etc. Then the viewer thinks, wow, if I do that, I'm also going to be successful just like that person did with Matt. That's why I have like 15 flip videos on my channel. That's the main reason why I do that. So you really want to take advantage of social proof. It's extremely powerful. If you can get testimonials, that's even better. With people that you've worked with, that is top-notch stuff. And these are the things that, like I said, marketers have no idea what they're doing, let alone real estate investors. There are so few real estate investors online, on YouTube, writing books, on the internet, writing blogs. They have just no idea what they're doing because the world is changing, right? The way we used to do stuff by going out to networking meetings and meeting people, right? That's cool, that's important. You still want to go to networking meetings, but that's 1990s strategies, right? For example, on my videos, like right here, and my videos I post all the time, I'm reaching sometimes thousands of people with the same video, and that video is working for me 24/7, 365. I'm educating my viewer on it, but I'm not even there. I'm in Hawaii, I'm in Costa Rica hanging out, I'm sleeping, whatever. So this is the power of social media, and nobody still is realizing it, which is blowing my mind. So if you take advantage of all the stuff I'm teaching you, right, you're gonna grow your real estate business much quicker. I did everything I'm telling you, that's what I did, right? I started off as a carpenter, I did the old networking thing, saving up my money. I didn't get anywhere very far. It wasn't until I hired an expensive marketing coach that I paid over $15,000 for all this info I'm giving you. Then he changed my mind, and then I started realizing the power of email marketing, which I haven't even got into, right? Email marketing, social media, videos, etc. And that's when I grew my business very quickly, right? All my partners, most of them, like 90% of my partners came within the last 3 to 4 years. So that's a really big thing to take into account. And again, where did all my partners come from? I have to say this in almost every video. Everybody knows that. All of my partners, every single one of them, has come from YouTube. What we got there? 18? All right. That's the power of social media. If you want to learn more about this whole system, how I do what I do, how I attract partners, I have a course called Unlimited Cash. It's in the description. I recently released it. It literally has everything in there. I teach you how to build a website, how to blog, how to write exactly, how to make a book, how to shoot videos, how to do email marketing. I actually give you my email templates. You just change the name, copy and paste pretty much. It doesn't get any easier. You also get my joint venture agreements that I paid a lawyer over $2,000 for. You get all of that and a free coaching call from me and all my courses, my other books and courses, and any other course that I'm going to make. You get lifetime access to everything. The price of that is regularly $497. However, for the people watching this on YouTube Live, I'm going to do a little deal. I'm going to take the price down tomorrow morning so the people watching this tomorrow don't get it. But if you go to the Unlimited Cash page in the description and you type in the coupon code YouTube Live, you get $200 off. So you get the entire course, a free coaching call with me for $297. That's an insane deal. Like I said, I'm taking that down in the morning. However, if there's any past clients of mine watching this, do not go and buy that course. I have a big announcement for you coming out on Wednesday. So for you guys, don't buy the course. However, if you haven't worked with me yet in real estate investing in Kitchener-Waterloo, go pick up that course. It's going to be a game changer. Like I said, it totally changed my life. Literally, making YouTube videos, writing a book, right? These are all easy things. It took me forever to do it. I'm going to give you the whole system so you can do it in half the time. Literally changed my life. I can now go traveling the world when I want. Me and Rachel can go hang out, go to Hawaii, Costa Rica, whenever we want. And that's the lifestyle that I want. That's what I'm building. That's why I do real estate investing. And if it wasn't for attracting partners, it would never have happened. So that's my little tips I want to get into. So let's go into some one-on-one coachings, which is my favorite, right? Me standing here talking at an iPhone is kind of awkward. So let's get into some questions. Anybody have some questions you need coaching on? What we got? Any questions?
Okay, question.
Yeah. Come on, guys, free coaching. Ask me anything.
Okay, so Norbert asks,
Norbert, what's up?
if you only have a certain amount to put down and you're priced out of investing in Kitchener, do you wait till you have more cash or do you get into a more feasible city?
So, two answers to that. Number one, you are where most people are. You need more money. If you want to keep buying in a quality area like Kitchener-Waterloo, you're going to need more money so you can learn how to do that. You're a past client of mine, so contact me. I'm going to get you that course for free. But you really are at a point where you need to attract more money to buy more real estate. However, if you are comfortable with going to another city and specializing there and getting to know it, that's totally cool. Just know what you're getting into. Become the expert. So relearn everything all over again. What's the GDP growth? What's the job growth? What's the rental demand? Is that a good area to invest in? What's holding up that economy, etc.? And if you feel comfortable with that, go for it, man.
All right, second question. What's your view on buying a real estate investment property cash?
Cash. So it's obviously smarter on your return on investment basis to buy many properties with the same 200 grand, let's say, instead of buying a property out cash, it makes more sense to buy 3 properties for the same 200 grand. That way there you have 3 assets appreciating, which is something people don't understand. Compound growth is literally what's going to make you rich for sure. Right? So while buying property cash, I like that because eventually I'm going to buy my properties cash when we retire. When we go to Costa Rica, I'm going to pay off the properties that we have, paid down. I'm going to clean them all out, and then they'll be cash flowing, full by then, right? But I wouldn't necessarily say buy a property cash unless you want to retire like tomorrow, right? You hate your job, you hate what's going on, you want to retire tomorrow, and buying one easy single-family property, let's say, is going to make that happen. Cool, that might be for you. But on a return on investment basis, when you have 3 assets appreciating at the same time, they're all getting paid down at the same time, right? Your spread is getting bigger every single month, and that's where the money is. That's what's going to make you rich. That's what's going to make you live your ideal lifestyle. If you buy one property, like I said, you're just getting cash flow. That's it. And the benefits of appreciation later should you sell. But that compound growth is extremely powerful, and people don't really understand that because I'll give you an example. When I started buying single-family properties like 6 or 8 years ago, people thought, what the hell are you doing? Like your properties only cash flow $50, $100. And people thought, you're insane to be buying that. I knew I was going to be in this long term, right? So at that time I was broke. I had a couple properties. I was making, $300 cash flow across my whole portfolio at that time. People thought I was nuts. Fast forward 8 years to now, because I bought so far 15 properties and we're closing on 4 more. So it's actually going to be 19 very soon. Okay, in the past 5 years, my net worth has literally gone from maybe $500,000 to almost $2 million in net worth. I'm not saying that to brag. I just want to show you the power of real estate, all because of compound growth. Many properties all appreciate at the same time, getting paid down at the same time, that spread getting bigger. So it depends on your situation, what you want to do, but the financial answer is buy several properties and let them all appreciate. Any questions?
So I had asked everyone where they're currently investing, just in case you're interested.
Yeah.
So Chandler, we met him in Vegas.
Yeah, right on.
He's
Nice.
investing in Idaho Falls.
Cool.
Watson, who just asked the question about buying a property cash, he said he just got out of high school but wants to be investing in the future.
Wow, you're way ahead, man. That's awesome.
Daryl Zuber said he invests in Kitchener, London, Sarnia, Owen Sound, Hanover, Walkerton, Listowel, and Cambridge.
Nice.
So he's kind of all over.
Owning Ontario, man. He's taking over.
Ontario.
Taking over.
Gurdeep, he's from Kitchener too.
Nice.
He says, by the way. Okay, we have a couple questions here.
Awesome.
Watson wants to know, how do you structure your partnerships?
Okay, good question. So it really depends when you're starting out. Now, I'll tell you how I do it now. So my partner has to put in all the money to buy and renovate the property. So it's typically about $100,000 for what's required here in Kitchener for a single family. That's to buy it, close it, renovate it, etc. And they need to get the financing in their name. Okay, on closing day, what I do, I can just write a giant list, I'm not going to do that, but on closing day, I do everything else. So I manage the contractors, I have my team of contractors, I bring them in, I manage the whole renovation, we do the color schemes and everything that you guys see on my YouTube channel, right? All my properties look the exact same flooring, same paint. I got the whole system down because I'm an expert in single family in Kitchener. I already know what to do, what it's going to rent for, etc. So I manage the whole contractors, I manage the property managers, which yes, if you hire a property manager, they do need managing. I manage the bookkeepers, the accountants, the mortgage brokers, the lawyers. I run the entire deal while coaching them the entire time about real estate investing. And when we sell, it's typically 5 years later. Right, so it's almost a minimum 5 years. It's not really in the joint venture agreement that we must hold 5 years. Anything can happen with the market. But I tell my partners we're going to hold it for at least 5 years. And then when we sell it, I pay back my partner all the money back he's ever put in first, he or she. So it's usually, like I said, around 100 grand. So they get all of that first, and then whatever's left over, we split 50-50. And I only get paid at the very end, only if we make money. So the entire time, I don't get a single penny. That's what I would urge you guys to do as well, just to build trust with your partners and really put your money where your mouth is. So I get no money till the very end, and only if there's a profit to be made. And the same thing kind of goes for the flips as well. It's like short-term flip. My partner puts all the money in. Financing goes in their name. When we do flips, we don't really get financing. We buy them all cash, but same kind of split. All the money back first, profit 50-50.
Okay, so we got a couple questions
here.
So Gurdeep said, "Hey Matt, been watching you for a bit and was wondering if I find a great deal, would you fund the down payment? I'm 24 and run a business, so I put all my money back into that, so money is tight."
Nice. I love the pitch. For me, I wouldn't put any money in because I'm at the point where I need money as well to buy more properties. So I personally, unless there was like a crazy deal in my area, Kitchener-Waterloo, please send it to me. Might have some clients as well that we can maybe do a deal with. But for me, at this point, I'm not really putting money into deals because I'm attracting partners who are putting their money in, and I'm using my experience and expertise to do those deals. But maybe if you send me like a really, really good deal, you might as well send it over.
Yeah, no harm in sending it
Yeah,
over.
no harm in sending it, yeah.
So Chandler asks, "Give us info on your favorite ways to find great deals on multifamily investment properties."
Multifamily. So multifamily is a little bit different. It's really an insider type business, as you probably know. So there's not, like, the really good deals in multifamily are usually off market. So it's people you know, other investors, other investment specialized realtors like myself who will know about these properties coming up. So it's really about your network. So again, if you establish yourself as the expert on social media, people are gonna start contacting you and say, "Hey, if I find a deal, can I send it to you?" etc. It's really gonna help you build your business quicker. But multifamily is a little tricky. It's obviously the multiple listing service on the market. You can find some good multifamily deals, but also other realtors, other investors. You're gonna find, the really, really good deals off market. So it's really about building your network. Single family is totally different. It's just on the market and off market as well, but the majority of them are on market.
So this isn't a question, but AJ wanted to chime in. He said, "How come you stopped talking about multifamily investing? You had a few great videos, but then started going back on single family."
Yeah, man. I gotta go back to the multifamily a little bit. It's true. Those videos did so well for some reason. I don't know why, on view-wise and watch time. So I actually am going to do more multifamily. They are coming up in the next couple of weeks. I have some recorded actually, so great for pointing that out. That's pretty cool. But yes, I will be going back, doing some multifamily because I really love the business aspect of multifamily, where single family is based on comparable sales, right? It's really about emotions, what buyers think the property's worth, whereas multifamily is really based on income. The more money the building makes, the more money or the more value the building is worth. So I really like that model, so I'm gonna go back and do some of those cool videos.
So he should stick around.
Stick around for those, yeah.
For the next coming weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so James says, "What's the best way to grow your network? I have been looking on Google and social media in my local city, but no luck."
So go out to meetings if there are any in your area, but like I said, social media. People are not realizing how powerful this is. And a lot of people will contact you. If you're posting on Instagram and you have a cool account, you're posting some great free content, great free tips. If you're posting on Facebook, if you're writing blogs, if you're writing a book, man, people are definitely gonna start contacting you and say, "Hey, I invest in this area or 30 minutes from you. We should hang out." You're gonna meet more cool investors that way. Like I met all the London guys, which you guys probably follow, right? Matt McKeever, Jeff Weibel. I met all of those guys from YouTube. They contacted me, we started hanging out, and etc. We started doing business together. So social media is so powerful for networking, more powerful than going out to meetings and shaking hands. You're doing one-to-one contact. Social media is one-to-many.
But also, if he's looking for that one-on-one, he can always start your own, right? Like
for
you
sure,
can start your own.
Start your own, yeah.
Networking group. Chances are, if you're thinking about it, other people probably are too.
Definitely. Yeah, start. If there's not one in your area, you should have more reason to start it so that you establish yourself as that expert even more, right?
Okay.
What else we got?
So Gurdeep earlier, he asked a question about the funding of a good deal. He said he's from Kitchener too. There's some people here that are investing in Windsor, Regina.
Cool.
So we got a bit of everyone here. So Daryl asks, "What if you have a joint partner that wants out after 1 year? How do you sell the other partner's share of the investment?"
So it's a very tricky custom case-by-case basis. If somebody has to sell because of a divorce or something happened in their life, they must sell. You have to sell. There's no really easy way to do it. You have to sell some way. You can buy them out if they'll let you, if it's in your contract, which if you get my contract, there's a clause in there that we have first right of refusal. So if my partner decides to sell, I get first crack at it for 60 days, 90 days, whatever, until I can figure out a way to buy it. So you can buy it yourself, you can sell it to insider people you know, or just put it on the market. It's unfortunate to be forced to sell any property because you don't want to be selling in a down market. However, life is life. Things happen. People go through some things. There's death, there's divorce, things happen. So you might have to sell at a bad time. It's just the way it is. That's the risk of real estate investing. There's no easy answer.
Joe Parr asks, do you buy only in Kitchener-Waterloo? Have you looked at Halton, so in the Milton, Georgetown, Burlington area? And what are your thoughts on those neighborhoods?
Yeah, so those areas are fantastic. If you can invest in Milton, Oakville, Mississauga, etc., super high quality areas, even more high quality than Kitchener-Waterloo, which is sad for me to say, but those are fantastic areas. However, they're just too expensive to find deals out of Cashflow. Again, I'm not looking for deals personally. Do I want deals? Of course I want deals. But I am totally fine with buying a property that cash flows $100 a month and I buy for fair market value. Because, like I said, I have a long-term vision. I'm a long-term investor. I know I'm going to get rich for sure if I keep that property for 10 years. So for me, it doesn't really matter about, am I getting a crazy deal? I'll go for them, but doesn't really necessary. However, Kitchener is more easily affordable to cash flow. I can find cash flowing properties any day of the week. So that's why I personally only invest in Kitchener-Waterloo. It's one of the best areas in Canada, voted by RAIN, Real Estate Investment Network, who does a lot of research on this. So one of the best areas to invest in Canada, definitely Ontario. Super high quality, diverse industry. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to keep owning Kitchener-Waterloo. Why go anywhere else? It's a fairly big city with all three together. There's more than enough money for me to be made here. So why would I want to learn a new area over here? Then I got to go over here and learn a new area over here. Then I got to go build a new team, property managers, etc. Like I said, my personal goal is chilling on the beach in Costa Rica. I don't want to be thinking about all this stuff, man. I want to be thinking about when I get up in the morning, I got to make a banana smoothie and go surfing on the beach. That's all I want to care about. I don't want to be thinking about too much stuff, too much taxes, too much property managers, etc. So for me, I'm just keeping it simple. I'm staying in a high quality area and that's good enough for me. However, like I said, it really depends on your goals and what you want. It might be a good idea for you to be a master in 3 cities. It's really up to you.
All right, so this isn't a question, and I hope I'm saying the name right. Cosme?
Oh, Cosme, yeah.
Yeah, he says, don't have a question, just wanted to say this guy's legit. Good stuff.
Thanks, man. Awesome. He bought the course, man. He knows.
Okay. So Derek says, I'm a contractor currently growing my small portfolio. Would you recommend becoming a real estate agent if this is something I intend to dedicate more time doing?
Here's one thing. Being a real estate agent costs a ton of money. So really, what I always say to investors, if you want to become a real estate agent, you have to really want to be a real estate agent or else it's not worth it. The cost just to be a realtor is astronomical. I can't believe it. It's disgusting. It's, for most people, generally about $1,000 a month just to hold your license, depending what office you're at. It's so expensive with all the fees we get, which is why a lot of realtors get mad when people say, why are you selling my house for so much and your fees are so high? That's why. Change the system and realtors' fees will go down. But getting off topic here, being a realtor is very, very expensive. So if you really want to be a realtor, it's fantastic. Being a realtor has totally helped me become a real estate investor. I get back-end data on properties. I get to see who the owner is, etc. There's a lot of great benefits for me being a real estate investor. I get paid when I buy properties. I don't have to pay commissions when I sell properties, right? Those are all cool things. But I really love being a real estate agent. I'm obsessed with being a real estate agent. So it makes perfect sense for me. If you want to become a realtor just for the sake of not paying commissions on a couple flips you do a year, it's probably not worth it unless you're flipping like 10 properties a year or you're buying like 10 properties a year or more. Then it might make sense. But even then, I'm not really sure. You have to really want to be a real estate agent to make it worth it, to make all the fees worth it.
Okay, so this is kind of piggybacking off that question, I think. Joe asks, are you a licensed real estate agent? On the buy and sell side, would partners save on real estate agent commissions?
Yes. So I am a licensed realtor, so it's in my agreement that when we sell our properties, I do not charge commissions on my end. We only pay the 2% to the other cooperating broker. But yes, I don't charge that. That's a benefit of partnering with me. We save a good $10,000 to $15,000 on an average deal just because of that. So for sure. So that's something, if you do become a realtor, that's a great pitch to attract more partners, right? I'm not going to charge commissions. We're going to make even more money. So. Sweet deal.
Gurdeep asks, what are your thoughts about investing in Brantford, Ontario?
Yeah, so I don't know too much about Brantford. I'm just going to be totally honest here because that's why I am. I'm totally transparent. Brantford is definitely like a low quality city. It's like a Cambridge times 4. So it's low quality tenants, low quality economics, right? GDP growth, not so much. Population growth, not so much. So it still has that stigma of a lower end city. However, I know a lot of investors actually that buy there and do pretty well. However, one common theme I notice across everybody I know who invests in Brantford, they're always having tenant issues. They're not paying rent. And that's not a general statement. That can happen anywhere, but it seems to happen a little more there because, like I said, the tenant quality and the tenant attraction there is a little lower. So if you are going to buy in Brantford because it's cheap, just really, really know the area. Become an expert even more. Find out where the good areas are, how to attract those, couple good tenants in Brantford, and then you'll be fine.
All right, and then Phil asks, what are your most recent design elements for rentals? Guessing there's been some updates, especially with Rachel getting more involved.
Yeah, definitely. Rachel's getting a more glamorous look on all of our properties. So I guess if you look at the past couple flips we just did, that's kind of the new theme we're going. So we're going with the hexagon tiles in all the bathrooms, the white tile with the black grout. That's a new thing we're always doing. We're always doing a peninsula if we can, so like a breakfast bar with the peninsula lights coming down. We're always doing that. That's another thing we're doing a lot. What else? We changed the flooring to, it used to be a darker brown vinyl, now we're using a light gray. So we're using that.
And I think just
the accent walls.
Generally, the accent walls, but also instead of like stainless steel like fixtures, we're going black.
Black,
So like black sinks,
black knobs.
faucets.
Yeah.
They don't leave like calcium stains like stainless steel does.
Fingerprints,
Yeah, fingerprints, and so they just look nicer. Number one, number two, I think they just have a longer lifespan.
Yeah, and the style's changing. Like the black and white is really in right now. So the white kitchen with the black taps, black handles on the kitchen. That's kind of the new style we're going. Whereas if you watch my older videos, right, we were doing gray cabinets with stainless steel handles. So things change. You just adjust to the times and what's cool, right? You want to have cool rental properties and attract quality tenants, so you got to do what the people want. So things change over time.
Watson asks, do you currently self-manage your properties?
So I only self-manage 2 of my properties that are literally 30 seconds down the street because I live here, I might as well. But everything else is property manager. Again, I want systems. I want my business to be automated. Why? You've heard it many times and on this live already. I want things boring, boring, boring. When I'm traveling, when I'm hanging out, I don't want to be thinking about real estate. My property managers can deal with the broken toilet at 2 a.m. or the tenant that didn't pay rent. They can deal with all that. And the business must fund itself, right? So there's cash flow in the properties. So those properties are paying for themselves. So why would I get involved and save $100, on property management fees every single month when I can really focus on, right, this stuff, attracting joint venture partners, making more content, buying more deals, saving $100 a month, or making 10, 20, 30,000 a month on flips, etc. Right? What's better? So my favorite saying is a lot of people step over dollars to pick up dimes. So they're thinking about ways to save money, which is the wrong mentality, right? You want to save, save, save. You want to open up and attract abundance. I know I'm sounding like a hippie now, but that's the real me, man. So I really believe in focusing on the dollars. What are the things I can do, the high ticket items to make me more money, and where can I pass off and automate things like a property manager, which is $100 a month? I'm not going to deal with that. But again, it depends where you are in your business, right? When I started investing in real estate, I definitely self-managed. I always urge my clients who are buying their first, second, third property to self-manage just to get to know the business, get to know how shitty it is, so that when you do expand, it's worth it to pass it off. But when you're starting out, it might be worth it for you to self-manage, but eventually you really want to build a system, build a team in place so that you really focus on enjoying your life and living your life, and real estate just funds that life. That's what I really believe in. That's the whole reason why I do real estate.
But also, just to add, is if you do like a renovation beforehand, before you rent, and you screen your tenants,
For sure,
you often don't have like a lot of headaches.
Definitely.
So you don't hear from your property managers very much.
That's the thing. Like right now we have, like I said, 15 properties, soon to be 19. I almost never have, okay, here's the thing. I've been investing for 8 years with all these properties. Guess how many tenant issues I've had in those whole 8 years? One tenant who didn't pay rent for 2 months, and then we evicted him nicely, right? It wasn't a bad scenario. He was just down on his luck. He was very sorry about it. He ended up leaving very easily before the sheriff came, etc. It was fairly smooth. That's the only problem I've ever had in 8 years across 15 properties. Because like Rachel said, we renovate our properties top to bottom right at the beginning. So they're amazing quality. We're only attracting really high quality people who want to live in a nice home. Also, we have really good quality tenant screening procedures so that I do over the phone. My property managers do, right? Credit checks. So we're doing a lot of screening to make sure we get the best tenants, right? We have properties that the tenant's been there for 4 or 5 years and they're still there. I haven't heard from them. They pay rent every single month. I haven't heard from them in 5 years. It's amazing. It's boring. It's exactly what I want. It just depends what you want, right?
Daryl asks, did HGTV have an influence in you deciding to become the person you are today?
Definitely.
Hashtag local celebrity.
It is the entire reason why I do what I do. Actually, when I was 18 years old, I really got obsessed with Flip That House. And that's the entire reason why I became a carpenter. I was like, man, I want to flip houses. That's so cool. That's why I got into carpentry. And when I got into carpentry, I quickly realized, man, this isn't for me. There's no way I can do this backbreaking work for the rest of my life. However, I like real estate. That's when I started learning about just real estate investing with buy and hold. So I really got into that, got away from the carpentry and backbreaking labor, and have flip-flopped actually back now into flipping. Now that we have the infrastructure, I guess you could say, we have the systems, we have the teams. So it's kind of funny how that worked out. But yeah, HGTV was the entire reason why I even found out about real estate investing, found out about flipping, and why I got into it. So watch more of that, definitely, especially if you're young. It's a good, positive influence.
If anyone has any HGTV connections,
yeah, man.
Matt would love his own show.
Yeah, man, let's get on this. Start calling Rogers and everybody, man.
AJ asks, have you had any issues now in any of your properties with the cannabis laws?
Not that I know of. It's just recently, I don't, that's gonna be a tough one, man. A lot of people are gonna have that issue coming up. But if there were to be a problem, I would think it would be in a multifamily setting. So again, why multifamily tends to attract a lower quality tenant. Not to say that people who smoke marijuana are low quality. That is not what I'm saying at all, believe me. But when you have 4 units in a building, right, that's 4 plants per unit. Now you're up to 16 plants per building. Like, that's getting a little excessive. But if I have a single family home like this, right, we're only gonna have 4 plants in the house, which is something I really would rather not my tenant have. But we'll have to see how that plays out. We'll have to see. I don't have an answer for you. It's too soon.
Joe asks, I recently sold my house and I'm currently renting, so I'm sitting on a lot of cash. With the current rate hikes and market slowdown, what would you recommend? Continue renting, invest, buy a home?
That's a real personal question with different answers. The financial answer would be to start investing in real estate. But the personal answer is you might want to own your own home, right? So we own our own home. I find that's something I really believe in, right? We hear Grant Cardone and all these other super successful investors say, rent where you live, own where you can rent. So that really depends on yourself. Yes, it's more financially responsible or ideally better to rent and take that money and buy rental properties and make more money on those. It's a fantastic strategy, but however, we are personal people. We want to have our lives. I really love owning my own home so I can renovate it the way I want to do it, right? We renovated this house top to bottom. It's the way I want to do it. If I was living in a rental, I couldn't really do anything besides paint the house. So that's a real personal question. Different answers. Financially, yeah, rent where you live, own where you rent. That makes sense. Yeah, and then, or if you really want to own your own home, that's completely up to you, man.
Or he could do both by house hopping.
Yes, good. Forgot about that one. So if you're just starting out and your budget's limited, yeah, what's really good is to buy a duplex and live in one of the units and rent out the other. So that allows you to buy that duplex for 5% down. So it's a very low purchase price instead of 20%. So 5% down, you live in it as your primary residence. Live there for a year and then move out, either move back with mom and dad or wherever you came from, or buy another duplex. Do it again, right? Every 12 months, keep doing that. And then you'll have 1 property, 2 properties, 3 properties. And then when you start going to attract investors, eventually you can say, hey man, I got 3 properties, 3 duplexes. I know what I'm doing. I got the system down. You're going to attract money even more because you've done social proof. You've proven your concept. You've proven that you're a good real estate investor. So a duplex might be a great first property for you. If you want that home feeling, it's yours, you can renovate it, but you're still making money, that's a great strategy. I really wish we did that actually when we started. We just bought a townhome that we lived in, and now it's a rental, now we own this house, right? But it would have been smarter to buy a duplex and just get the ball rolling now. I get the equity going, get the cash flow going, live for free if possible from the tenant paying our mortgage. That's cool, man.
Derek wants to know, do you plan on updating your properties 5 to 10 years down the road?
It's a good question. We'll see where it takes us. But for me, like I always say in my videos, what my goal is that I want to buy 30 single-family properties with my partners. Right, we already have 19 now going up, so we're more than halfway there. What I want to do is sell off 20, right? And hopefully all that money, which I explained in a couple videos past, I want to take all that money from the 20 I sold, and I want to pay 10 off cash. So like I said at the beginning of this video, that's when I want to pay the single families cash. So then they're cash flowing at that point, $2,000 per house. I got 10 properties, right? That's 20,000 a month from owning 10 properties. That's easy. That's less properties than I have now, and I'm living my dream life in Hawaii or Costa Rica. So that's the plan that I have. However, we are mixing things in. I got a triplex. We got a couple duplexes. I think 2 or 3 duplexes. I'm really looking at buildings now as well. Specifically, I'm looking at townhouse condo complexes. So it still has the single family tenant, single family quality. However, it's got the multifamily rules when it comes to making money. So we'll see how things go. That still falls into single family a little bit, but that's kind of the game plan we're going with. Buy 30 properties, sell 20, get all that money, pay 10 off cash, and then we'll see. Well, then we'll see where life takes us.
Michael wants to know, are single dwelling properties better than duplexes?
That's a personal question. So for me, I like the single family better because it's the higher quality tenant. It's only one tenant. Yes, there are negatives to that. If one tenant doesn't pay rent, you have no rent for that property as opposed to a multifamily. But like I said, I've almost never had a problem with tenants not paying rent in my specific area because I know it so well and I renovate it so well. But I personally like single family. That's a personal question. Some people only like multifamily. Some people only like student properties. Again, it goes back to your values, which is something a lot of people don't even think about. They just think cash flow, cash flow. They read the books, they watch HGTV, they go to Scott McGovern seminars, etc., right? And they're all saying cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. It's not all about cash flow. We have a life we want to live, right? We have a dream. We want to live a certain style of life. Figure that out. What is your ideal lifestyle? And then tailor the real estate to fit that lifestyle. Will it take me and you longer to invest in single family to live your life? Yes, it definitely will, right? If I were to take all my money now and buy a bunch of student properties or multifamily, I could probably retire tomorrow, right? Easily. But I'm going to have a bunch of headaches when I do retire and live where I want to live. Whereas if I just keep doing it, man, 5 more years, 6 more years, which isn't even that long, right? We'll get the life that I want. And then forever, right? I'll be 35 by that point and have a real option of retiring, right? We can retire right now if we want to. It would be really slim, but we could do it. We could live in Costa Rica right now. But if I just keep going 5 more years, man, when I'm 35, the rest of my life is going to be set up for boring, predictable income. That is why I like single family. I want to get rich for sure. I don't want to get rich maybe and piss around and try all these things, invest in small towns. I don't want to do that, man. But again, it's totally up to you. What do you want out of life? Why are you doing real estate? Figure that out and then match the real estate to it.
Leafs 1217 is currently converting a single dwelling to a legal duplex with separated hydro water, 2-bed, 2-bath, in-suite laundry. They met with a property manager this week, and the pitch was a 5% monthly fee, including the finding of tenants.
That's a great fee. Holy.
Well, he was wondering if that's standard.
That's a great fee. It's normally 6 to 8%. And that does not include finding a tenant. You have to pay 1 month's rent to half a month's rent to find a tenant on top of that 6 to 8%. So if you're getting 5% a month, including tenant finding, like that's crazy. Make sure that company is reputable and they know what they're doing, because it sounds a little low, but that's a great rate if it's a good company. So jump on that.
Okay, so Watson, remember he's just out of high school, wants to get into investing. He's asking, how do I deal with family and friends who are mad at me for choosing to invest in real estate rather than going to college?
Yeah, so this is the thing. When you become a real estate investor or you want success and you're doing something different than the status quo, people are going to lash at you and try and tear you down. Even subconsciously, even your parents will do this, your siblings will do this, because they actually want to protect you. They actually love you and they don't want you to get hurt, which is why it's coming off as don't do that, go to college, right? It's predictable. But you know what? That's boring in a bad way, right? I like boring in an easy money way. Going to college, getting a 9 to 5 is boring in a really, really bad way. But it's predictable. You know what your life's going to be, right? So a lot of people are going to try and tear you down. So your friends and family, your close friends and family are going to tear you down out of love. Realize what they're doing. Just keep plowing ahead. Maybe show them example. Again, it's all about marketing, man. You want to teach them about real estate, show them the benefits, show them why real estate can be great for you. When it comes to your just normal friends, they're going to try and tear you down. Not maybe out of love, just out of jealousy. And that is something you are for sure almost going to have happen to you. Everybody here is going to have that happen. The more success they get, people are going to start changing. You're going to lose friends. That's 100% going to happen, especially at your age. because that's what happened to us. That's exactly what happened to us at that age. We started buying more real estate, getting successful, and you just change in life anyway, right? You're going to change personalities. You're going to change the way you think. And the old friends are definitely going to leave you, say you're lame, what are you doing? It's stupid. Just realize that, but just keep going forward. So believe me, real estate is so powerful. It's amazing. I haven't seen like one person who's been a real investor say this is stupid, like it ruined my life. I've met so many people who are doing it right, who have totally changed their life because of real estate. So stay on the path. Remember, there are more millionaires made in real estate than any other investment or any other industry ever on planet Earth. More than Amazon FBA, more than Shopify, more than social media marketing, more than a plumber, more than a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, etc. Real estate has made more millionaires than all of those. So that tells you something. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just stay the course and you will get rich if you do it right.
Also, he can show them your videos.
Definitely. Show them my videos. Show your parents my videos. Maybe it'll help them out. Right? I'm a young guy, right? We're 30. We're pretty successful from real estate. That might help them change their mind. Maybe.
Okay, BB Flip says, congrats. I'm a small investor in Toronto with 5 properties. Never
Nice.
thought about growing my portfolio, but I really like the way you do it. And it's actually pushing me to do some more. Thanks,
awesome.
brother.
That's awesome. 5 is a big portfolio, man. Right? I think I forgot the stats off the top of my head, but I think it's 3% of the population only own one investment property other than their primary residence. So only 3% of the population is going to own an investment property, just one, right? And I think it's 50% of the 3% are going to own more than 3 properties. We're talking about 1.5% of the population will own more than 3 properties. So you're like top 1%, man. So don't downplay what you've done. That's amazing. 5 properties in Toronto on top of that, you're going to be rich for sure. That's awesome.
Okay, Zach wants to know, if you were starting today, what would you do differently to build your real estate empire from nothing again?
Honestly, straight up, without being too salesy, I wish I would have learned the marketing things sooner, especially back when I started this YouTube channel in 2012, right? I was just dabbling with YouTube. I didn't really understand it because YouTube wasn't really a thing. Social media wasn't really a thing. But I wish I learned how to market properly because everybody's making mistakes with thinking they have to find deals to get money, right? You've heard the saying, find a good deal, the money will just come. That happens sometimes. It's cool when it does. I'd rather have a bunch of partners lined up behind me waiting for the next deal. As soon as I find it, I can just give it to them and we got a deal done. I don't have to piss around trying to find anybody. And that really comes down to marketing, branding, building your business, which is all I teach in my course. Again, I don't want to sound salesy. I'm not that kind of a person, but I made a whole course on exactly that, how to build your business. And that's something I wish I would have started way younger, right? I only started doing this kind of stuff about 5 years ago. So if I would have started this at the very beginning, I'd be way farther than I am now.
Derek says, when you buy those townhouse complexes, will you be getting a jet lag grant to go on your vacations?
Definitely.
Leafs 1217, any suggestions on refinancing current properties to free up equity for down payments in the new ones? I hear it's about to get harder.
Yeah, so the banks are tightening down. Every 2 weeks the rules change, it seems like, here in Canada. So it might be a good idea if you have a lot of equity in your properties, go ahead, start refinancing, start getting the appraisals done to get that free money before it starts to get really hard, because it's only going to get worse for sure. Rates are going up, banks are tightening down, it's going to be tougher and tougher. So do it as soon as you can. If you want to scale this thing and start buying more properties, right?
Benefits on incorporating other than liability.
Benefits on the corporate tax rate is the number one reason. So this is a great question. You must ask an accountant and a lawyer because everybody will give you a different answer. And it really depends on what you're trying to do, where you are in your life. I'll just tell you what I'm doing in my life right now. So all of my partnerships that I do go into a corporation because I want the lower tax rate. And then all of my flips specifically, especially, go into the corporation as well because I want that 15% tax rate on active income and 38% tax rate on capital gains and holding income, right? So if I were to keep buying properties in my personal name, right, I'm going to be paying 48, 50, 52% tax rates in Canada, whereas in a corporation, it's way lower. So it really depends what you're going for, right? I really want to scale this thing. So for me, like saving the money on that is super important. And then the benefits of liability is just way smarter on top of that. And then it depends also if you're buying commercial property, so multifamily, like the complex that I was talking about, you actually must buy those in a corporation or the banks won't give you money. It's kind of weird. When you buy single family with a corporation, the banks don't want to touch you. It's almost impossible to buy a single family with a corporation. However, when you start buying 6 units or more, it's required. You must buy in a corporation. So it depends what you're doing. What are your goals? What are you trying to do? Again, like I said, it's a very personal question on your personal situation, what your dreams are, etc.
How did your limo night go? Will you do another one?
Definitely. So we have limos planned. I think we're going to do 2 a year in Kitchener-Waterloo alone, so maybe more. Last one was awesome. You see the video we posted. I love doing those. I love one-on-one coaching like this. This is what I love doing, and showing people my home area, Kitchener-Waterloo, where to invest, where to buy properties, how to buy properties. I love that. So it's awesome. Come on the next one if we do it for sure. It's a great, great time.
Okay, so Mike C. Movies. First time rental property, are you better putting more on the mortgage, like 20% down, or less down, like 5%? More cash on hand for renovations or cheaply monthly payments?
So again, it depends what you're doing. If you want to, well, if you're buying an investment property, you must put 20% down. So there's no way really around that. The only time you can put 5% down is if you're moving into it. It's like a duplex, like I said earlier. That's how you can do the 5% and still own an investment property. But if you're just buying a straight property, it's 20% down, so that's required. You want to have some equity in there just in case the market does change. Should it go down, right? You're not going to lose a lot of money. If you only put 5% down and the market does happen to change, right, you can go negative real quick. So it's good to have some equity in there. And again, to keep those payments down. So in my area, Kitchener-Waterloo, Toronto, GTA, Ontario is almost general, right? You must put 20% down just to get the property to cash flow a decent amount to carry itself, right? So for most cases, 20% down is a good idea. Unless, like I said, you're buying a duplex, do the 5% down for sure. If you're living in it, why not?
Daryl says that he did the small town investing thing, but it actually helped him get ready to save and sell.
Nice.
And now he's able to invest in quality areas like Kitchener. It set him up nicely, and it allowed him to quit his prior job.
That's amazing, man. So investing in the small towns isn't always a bad thing, right? If you know what you're doing, if you know those areas, you make a lot of money in the small towns. And not maybe you want a more boring business, I'm assuming. Right now, you can take that money, put it into a Kitchener-Waterloo, a Toronto, a Hamilton, whatever, a Barrie, and now you're going to be set for the rest of your life, guaranteed, almost, right? So that's a great, great strategy.
Morad says, hey Matt, as a realtor and investor, how do you handle your accounting and taxes? Do you have an LLC or self-employed A&T tips? So
I haven't figured out a way yet to do a corporation as a realtor, which is a real terrible thing in Ontario. As realtors, we're not allowed to incorporate yet. They're working on it. But like a mortgage broker, a lawyer, they're allowed to. So it's stupid. So the realtor income is personal. I'm paying the 52% Canada tax rates, man. But that's why all my flips, all of my real estate investing is in the corporation. I want to do more flips to make more money in the corporation, pay those lower tax rates. So you have to bite the bullet. As far as I know, there are ways. I'm not going to talk about the ways on here about how we can lower our taxes as a realtor, but there are some ways. Talk to your accountant, but we can't yet do a corporation as a realtor. Not that I know of.
Carolina asks, what are the most effective ways to force appreciation of a property?
So to force appreciation is renovation. When you renovate a property, you're forcing it up. You have total control over the appreciation. You can renovate it or you can not renovate it and raise the value. So that's why real estate, to me, is so desirable as opposed to a stock, a bond, a cryptocurrency, whatever, right? We have more control. I can renovate it and jack the value, or I can just leave it and just rent it out and keep going, right? So that's one of the best ways to force appreciation is renovate it.
Are there any renovations in particular?
Yes, the most popular ones like the kitchens, right? Obviously offer the most value. Bathrooms, kitchens and bathrooms are the number one. You must do those, especially for a rental property, but even for a flip. Those are very important. And then, but we always do all of them, so it's hard to say what's the best one. I like to do all of them: floors, paint, trim, kitchens, countertops, doors, everything. But if I had to give one answer, kitchens and bathrooms are your most worth it for you to do.
Let me see, I'm just scrolling through here. Lots of thank yous for answering everyone's questions. Dennis wants to know, is St. Catharines okay to buy for investment properties?
Definitely. So I don't know anything about St. Catharines. I'll be very honest. However, I know a lot of investors, some really good investors that invest there, and they're doing really well. St. Catharines does have, from what I know, everything you want in an economic cycle. So it's got the GDP growth, job growth, population growth, rental demand. Everything is there to be a good area. So from what I know, it's a very good area. I just don't know it well personally to actually give you a personal testimonial, but I know a lot of people who are investing there.
Canada Explained, what would be your advice for policymakers in Toronto/Ottawa to provide long-term affordability and stability in the market?
That's a great question. Number one, take away the rent controls. 100%. A lot of politicians think rent controls will help the market. It actually does the complete opposite, because real estate investors leave the market. They go to invest in the States. They go to invest in Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC. So they leave Ontario. There's less investors, less rental properties. So what happens when we have a lot of people looking for a few properties? What do you think happens? Rent jacks way up. Everybody else starts jacking up their rents to fit the market, right? It's all about supply and demand. So get rid of the rental holdings. I'm losing the word there. Caps. Get rid of the caps, especially. So the 2.5% rental rates in Ontario every year. It's not even that close, right? Last year was 1.8, I think. So get rid of that. Let it be a free market. When politicians get into, and I'm not an expert on economics, but from what I know from studying very smart people, you want the market to be free. Let it be a free market. The market is always right. Every time. When you start having politicians dabbling, trying to do things, that's when things get insane and things get unfair. Politicians think they're helping people. It's at the complete opposite from the unintended consequences of their policies. So let the market be the market. You can probably tell I'm a pretty big capitalist, but that's honestly the truth. If the market was the market, I think it'd be a lot more balanced rental-wise, 100%. But I could be wrong. However, the system that's working right now is very wrong. So you might as well try the free market way.
Okay. Zach would like to know, what high-income jobs/skills do you recommend based on your experience as a realtor? And then what do you think of working for minimum wage?
So working for minimum wage, if you're going to learn some skills that'll help you later in life, is a great idea. If you're just working at a McDonald's or something, you're probably not going to be learning a lot of good skills to translate for the rest of your life. However, you got to do what you got to do depending on your situation, right? So you have to live, you have to pay bills. That's a reality. So high ticket jobs, I guess, would be like the typical doctor, lawyer, dentist, engineer, right? I'd rather focus on you being self-employed and getting paid on a different version. Here's the thing. Everybody gets paid on dollars per hour. This is how like 99% of people get paid, right? This is the old world. I work 40 hours a week. I get paid 25 bucks an hour every hour. I make that much money. Okay, that is the old world. What you want to do is start getting paid on your value. So if you're a social media marketer, you're going to charge a fee, right? If you want me to help you advertise your Facebook, it's going to cost you whatever, $1,000 a month. If you have 10, 20, 30 clients at one time, that's $30,000 a month. You will not make that money as a lawyer or whatever, even some good lawyers, because you have to trade so much time to get that amount of money. So the real secret in 2019 and beyond is you really want to get paid on value. So become your own boss if you can. Like I said, you got to do what you got to do to start off, but really focus on how can I get paid on my value. You might be able to do that at the job you're at right now. So let's say you are an accountant. Let's say you go to your boss and you say, hey, Mr. Boss, if I can bring more clients through my social media marketing at night, right, I want 25% of that client that I brought, etc., right? Now you're getting paid based on your value, but you still have that comfort of that job while you transition. There's a ton of creative things you can do, but really urge to start thinking on how I can get paid based on the value as opposed to dollars an hour. That's 1990s strategies. That doesn't work anymore. Why do you think the middle class is shrinking, right? That's getting bigger. There are more people in the middle class because they're making less money and they're getting pushed down to lower income classes, right? It's terrible what's going on. It's a shame, but it's the factor of nobody realizing that the world is changing. Everybody's blaming, right, the presidents, the prime minister. It's their fault. It's the government's fault. Yeah, they have some problems too, but the reality is it's on you. people aren't realizing that the world is changing and they're trying to do 1990 strategies in 2019. It's not working. We got Amazon, who's totally revolutionized the business, right? They're catching on, right? So that whole market is changing. People aren't realizing that the way we make money is also changing, completely changing. So start focusing on becoming a real estate investor, which is why I love that. Start becoming self-employed so you can make a high income from being self-employed to invest in real estate, grow your money even more. Right now we're talking. So that's really what you want to start doing. Stop the dollar per hour if you can. Start moving there. Especially if you're young. Definitely start focusing on this, man.
All right, Leafs 1217 says, my realtor tells me that ideal units are 2 bed, 2 bath, ensuite, in-suite laundry with backyard, high rent for luxury units, and a high turnover versus a 3-bedroom, etc. And by high turnover, he means charging more rent versus
every time a tenant leaves.
max increase. Do you agree or disagree?
So different strategy. If you want your tenant to leave every single year so you can jack the rent up because of the Ontario rent caps I was just talking about, right? You're going to get outdated rent very quickly. So when a tenant leaves in Ontario, we finally get the ability to jack up that rent to market rent. We can be a capitalist for like 2 seconds. So that's a great benefit for that short or that quick turnover, right? So the 2 bedrooms, the reason why they turn over so quick is because they tend to attract young couples or single people. And they like to move around. They like to experience different things. Their life changes, their job changes, which is why they move on so often. So if you're investing in 2-bedroom places, that's going to happen. People are going to come in, they're going to leave almost every single year. So that's a great financial strategy for making more money. However, like I said, it's not always based on money, right? We have a life we want to live. So the 3 bedrooms will bring you more stability. Why? 3 bedrooms will attract families, right? Maybe an older couple, and I say older, I'm talking about 30 to 40, so they're more established. I say more established couples with a kid. So when they move into a property, they want to set down roots. They want to raise their kid in a stable home, right? Their kid goes to school, they have friends, they don't want to take them out of school, etc., which is why they stay for years, 5, 6, 7 years or more. So the boring is predictable. However, less cash flow. The cash flow gets out, or the rent gets outdated very quickly. So different strategies. What do you want in your life? Do you want to deal with turnovers every single year while you're traveling or whatever you want to do, right? I don't want to do that, but it depends what you want. So I like 3 bedrooms. However, we also buy a lot of duplexes that typically have 3 bedrooms up, 2 bedrooms down. So there's a little bit of different market there, but it really depends what you want.
And also high turnover means more updates, more frequently,
Yeah, for
right?
sure. Yeah, because you can't rent it all the time as is. You have to paint it. You have to do something to spruce it up. So you're dealing with more of that. So there's more headaches. That's why multifamily is more headaches. Multifamily tends to attract lower quality tenants. They move much quicker. Nobody wants to really set down roots in a building. Typically, they want to move around, buy a house, etc. So you're dealing with more of that. So multifamily, student properties, so active, always doing something. Single family, boring, on the beach, relaxing. My tenants are there for 5, 6 years. It's awesome. But less cash flow, more long term. Depends what you want.
Daniel says, is Hamilton a good market right now to invest in?
So again, I'm not an expert in Hamilton. However, Hamilton has like all of the fundamentals that we want as investors. Super good quality area. From what I understand from talking to other investors, very expensive, very hard to get in. However, if you can get in, if you want to specialize in Hamilton, no better place. Awesome place to really become an expert in. So if you can, 100%, Hamilton's a good area.
Dennis says, is it a good time to invest now or wait until after 2019? I heard a recession is coming.
Yeah. So I'm always buying constantly. Again, because I have a long-term strategy. If the market does crash, which is so likely not going to happen in Kitchener-Waterloo, what did we see in 2008, 2009 in Kitchener-Waterloo? Nothing. Nothing happened. We have such good jobs, such a diverse economy. Nothing really happened. What did happen real estate-wise is that we had a flat market. That's probably what's going to happen again in this coming recession. It's just going to be flat. So I don't see it really going down. And if it does, who really cares? Honestly, if you're buying for a 10, 15, 20-year plan, who cares what I paid for it today? Because in 20 years, it's going to be worth a hell of a lot more than what I paid today, even if we go through 2 or 3 real estate cycles, which we probably will over 20 years, right? So you want to be long-term to avoid those things, which is why long-term investing is such a smart idea, because things can happen in the market that we're not aware of, and you don't want to be caught with your pants down trying to make quick money, right? That's why flipping is quick money. It's great. I love it. I do flipping as well. But like right now in Kitchener-Waterloo in Ontario, the market is changing, like you said, and I'm actually backing off on flipping right now because it's a little uneasy. It's not really guaranteed. I'm pushing more so into buying holds with my partners rather than flipping because I know we're going to have to wait out this recession coming. So I think we are going to have a recession in the next 1 to 2 years, almost guaranteed. How big is it going to be? I don't know. But if you're buying for a 10-year plan, you're going to be just fine. If you're buying for a 3-year plan, a 2-year plan to make quick money, you might get into some shit. So it depends what you're after, man.
But would you recommend waiting until the recession to properties for lower
I would never
prices?
wait. Never wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. Again, but you want to be long terms to avoid those market fluctuations or corrections. So I'm not waiting. I'm buying as much as I can, right? We just bought 4 last week. I want more all the time, because I'm long term. We're going to win every time. What else we got here?
All right. Joel W. Real Estate says, I have properties that are set up with in-law suites in their basements. I am renting out to single families due to them not being deemed legal or zoned. They currently cash flow. How would you proceed?
So if the zoning already allows for that property to be duplex, it might be a good idea for you to duplex it, pay the money, do the building code upgrades, because it'll really jack up the value of that property a lot. A legal duplex is worth a lot more than a single family, especially if you're in a good big city. I don't know where you are, but if you're in like a Kitchener or a Toronto or a big city, it's going to be worth so much more because we're getting more desperate for houses.
He's from Hamilton.
Hamilton. So it's a great idea to duplex it if you can, if the zoning already allows for it. If it's not allowed for it, and you have to do a minor variance to change that zoning, that's a real pain in the ass, costs a lot of money, but it might still be in your interest to do that because, like I said, duplexes are worth more, they cash flow more, but again, it's totally up to you. If they're making money as a boring single family top to bottom, and it works for you, keep going maybe, keep waiting it out, but if you want more cash flow, you're already sitting on a gold mine, you might as well duplex it.
Okay, there's still some more here. Zach, so going off my last point about making a living from your job, from adding value, do you think you should buy your first property or should you keep investing in yourself? Thanks, Matt. Been a viewer since 2015.
Both, if you can. That's a good person. Again, it's a personal question. I would say you should buy real estate right away and keep educating yourself, right? There's a lot of good free content, right? This video, I'm on YouTube. There's a bunch of us on YouTube you can learn from. So keep meeting people for free, keep watching videos, keep reading books. You can do a lot of self-education. You don't have to pay money as much anymore for coaches or programs and stuff like that. Really expensive, crazy programs. You don't need that. You can buy some good, cheap programs and meet just free people or free networking meetings. I would say you should buy real estate and start building that because, like I said, that's where the real money is made long term, right? So start educating yourself, making more money, start getting paid more on your value, but also you want to start dumping some money into buying holds and just setting it and forgetting it, and then do something else. Keep going, keep learning, keep buying more, keep attracting partners, etc.
Okay, so AJ says, what's your opinion on depreciating properties in your personal name to save on tax? I have a purpose-built triplex in Oshawa that I'll be keeping long-term.
Yes, that's a good tax question. I am not an accountant. That's like way over my head on specific things. But yes, I do use depreciation. My accountant does that for me. Can I explain to you exactly how it works? No, I'm not an expert in that. I focus on real estate investing and buy more properties and getting more money. So that's what I'm good at. So I couldn't give you a good, educated response on that. I do know it's something that we do as real estate investors, and keep doing it, keep buying more, buying holds, and waiting long term like you said. That's a great strategy.
Dennis says, thank you, Matt. Very good info.
Awesome, man.
I think we're all caught up on all the questions. I don't know if you want to ask if anyone has any last
last questions? How long are we going on now? How long?
It's 8:10, so about an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up pretty soon. So anybody have any last minute questions that you need help with?
Daniel says, thank you. Leafs 1217 says, thanks, guys. Keep up the great content.
Awesome.
5B Juglas says, just want to say hi, love the channel.
Awesome, thank you very much. All right, if you have any more questions, I think we're going to wrap up. It's been a good, action-packed hour. Like I said, if you want the course Unlimited Cash, go ahead and get that in the description below. But don't forget to use the code YouTube Live to get $200 off. So you get the whole course for $300, a free coaching call with me. Again, I don't want to push things on you. I hate being too salesy, but it's a really good program that's going to help a lot of people. So if you want to get that now, because I'm taking it down tomorrow morning. Because I don't want people who are watching this tomorrow morning who weren't here live with us to get that deal. They can pay full price. So go ahead, get that deal. And I guess I'll see you in the next video.
Should Matt do another live?
Yes, this is my first live I've done in the whole time I've had the channel for 5 years. It's insane. Should I do more? Do you guys like these kind of live videos? Any ideas for what we should do future? Or do you like the quick presentation at the beginning and then just straight to Q&A? What do you guys want?
What's your discount code?
YouTube Live. Type that in the coupon code, YouTube Live, and you get $200 off of that course. And you get another free coaching call with me, one-on-one, which is what I love doing.
All right, so people are saying thanks. Let's just see here. Derek says, thanks guys, keep it up. AJ says, thank you, can't wait for those multifamily videos.
You're coming up, man. I'm coming up.
Subscriber since 2015.
Awesome, thank you, I appreciate it. That's awesome.
Mike C. Movie says, thanks, Matt. And, Dennis says, Matt, for a first-time investment, is freehold townhouse okay, or is a duplex better? I don't want too expensive because I'm afraid.
Yeah, so again, we're going single family, which is boring, predictable, easy, high quality tenant. We're going to a duplex. You're going to attract potentially a little lower quality tenant than you would in single family. So I love single family and I love freehold townhomes. We own a couple of freehold townhomes. But if you want super boring, super less risky, right, a condo townhome might be good for you. So I would never really invest in a condo apartment. That's not what I'm talking about. A condo townhome where a company takes care of all the grass, they shovel the snow, they take care of all the siding, the windows, the roof. We have a lot of those, and it's fantastic, super boring, extra boring, great high quality tenants, because tenants like the idea that they can live in a place where they don't cut the grass, they don't shovel the snow. Believe me, that's a great marketing strategy to get some good quality tenants. So just research single family, keep watching my videos, reach out to me if you need more help on that. But it comes down to personal. What do you want? Do you want easy, boring, predictable with less cash flow? Or do you want more cash flow with maybe a little more headaches, maybe a little more active, right, doing in the business? It's up to you. Personal question.
Mike C. Movie says, yes, another live. Q&A.
Nice.
Derek says, more live. I'll start writing my questions down for next time.
Awesome, man. I think I want to do these lives bi-weekly, every second Monday. We'll do a live like this. I think that'd be really cool.
What does everyone think? Yes?
Yeah, that's awesome. Any last minute questions before we head off? Appreciate you guys being on here on a Monday night. I know you guys probably have families, you have kids, you got things you want to do, or you want to watch TV like I want to do. No, I'm kidding. You have better things to do.
But not really.
Yeah, not really. But I really appreciate you guys being on here. It's awesome. It means a lot that I can teach you. I can help you kick ass in life. That's the whole reason why I do real estate. The whole reason why I want to become a coach later when I'm done this real estate thing. I really love helping people achieve goals. It's awesome. Any last minute things before we head off? Cool, man. So thank you again, and I'll see you guys on the next video and on the next live as well.